The ship shook violently as it entered the atmosphere of the strange green-tinted planet. Sparks flew from the console and alarms blared. Alex gripped the controls tightly, his knuckles white as the engines struggled against the turbulence. He had been on routine exploration missions before, but nothing had prepared him for this. A blinding light flashed outside the cockpit window, and the ship crashed into a dense forest. Trees splintered under the impact and the ground shook violently. When the dust settled, Alex groaned, trying to lift his head. Pain shot through his leg and shoulder. His uniform was torn and blood stained his sleeves. He forced himself to move. The forest around him was alive with colors he had never seen before. Leaves shimmered with soft light, and streams of water glowed faintly in the shadows. Strange creatures skittered across the ground, disappearing as quickly as they appeared. Alex had no time to admire it. He needed help. He limped through the forest, holding a piece of debris to support his leg. Every step was agony, but he knew staying still would mean certain death. He had no communication with his team. The emergency beacon had been destroyed in the crash. After hours of painful movement, he heard it, the faint hum of machinery in the distance. Hope surged in his chest. He hobbled toward the sound, thinking he might find another human, or at least something that could help him. When he finally broke through the trees, he found a clearing. It was unlike anything he had seen on Earth. Towering structures of crystal and metal rose from the ground, reflecting the green sky above. Strange symbols glowed faintly along the walls, and there, moving gracefully across the platform, were beings that seemed taller and stronger than humans. Their skin shimmered with subtle shades of silver and blue, and their eyes were sharp and intelligent. Alex froze, realizing he had stumbled straight into the presence of aliens. His heart pounded. They were armed, their weapons glowing with energy pointed directly at him. Every instinct told him to run, but his leg refused to obey. Before he could react further, a figure approached, taller and more magnificent than the rest. She wore a long, flowing robe that seemed to shimmer like liquid light. Her eyes, deep and commanding, fell upon Alex. He could feel her presence, powerful and absolute, yet strangely calm. The guards hesitated. Their weapons did not waver in their hands, but something in their stance shifted. The woman, he realized she must be their queen, looked directly at him. Alex tried to explain, I'm hurt. I didn't mean to. He stopped. Words seemed small and meaningless in front of her. But she didn't speak. She just looked at him, studying him carefully, and then slowly, almost imperceptibly, she raised her hand. The guards dropped their weapons. The energy blades hummed softly and sank into the ground. Alex stared, stunned. He had never expected mercy from aliens, let alone something that felt like understanding. One of the guards motioned for him to follow. Alex hesitated, glancing at the queen again. Her eyes seemed to say, "Come, you are safe." Pain shot through his leg as he took his first step toward her, but he managed to hobble forward. The queen led him through massive gates into the heart of the alien city. The air inside was cool and the walls pulsed with faint light. Bioluminescent vines climbed the crystal structures, creating a soft, serene glow. As they walked, Alex noticed the aliens watching him with curiosity, not hostility. Children ran past him, their laughter echoing strangely through the corridors. For the first time since the crash, he felt something close to hope. Finally, they reached a large chamber. He was guided to a platform, and there, a group of healers approached. Their hands moved over his wounds, emitting soft lights that soothed the pain almost instantly. He gasped as the sharp ache in his shoulder dulled and the bleeding from his leg stopped. The queen watched silently, her expression unreadable. Alex tried to speak, but his throat was dry. "Thank you. I don't know how to—" She raised a hand, stopping him. No words were needed. Her gaze conveyed acceptance, almost like she had seen him before, or something like him. Alex could only nod, humbled. The healers stepped back, and the queen finally spoke, her voice calm and commanding. "You are far from home, human. And yet you survived what many could not." Alex swallowed. I crashed. I didn't know where I was." The queen nodded as if she already understood. "Your presence here is no accident. You carry courage, and courage is respected even among my people." Alex's head spun. Courage. He had been fighting for survival, not thinking about courage, and yet hearing it from her felt significant. Before he could respond, a guard approached, whispering something to the queen. Her eyes narrowed slightly, but she did not speak harshly. Instead, she gestured toward Alex. Rest. We will speak more when you are able. Alex nodded weakly and sank to the ground. He felt safe for the first time in hours. The alien city, so alien and intimidating at first, now felt like a place where he could learn, survive, and maybe even belong. He glanced at the Queen one last time before closing his eyes. There was a strength in her presence that went beyond power, something that demanded respect, not fear. Alex wondered if humans could ever reach that level of understanding and discipline. As he drifted into a light sleep, he could hear faint footsteps around the chamber. The Queen's guards were not gone. They watched, always vigilant, but their stance was no longer threatening. They had lowered their weapons because of her, and for Alex that small gesture meant everything. Hours passed, and when he woke, the room was quieter. His injuries still throbbed slightly, but they were manageable. The Queen was seated across from him, observing quietly. Alex realized that she was not just a ruler, she was a thinker, a judge, and perhaps a guide. He tried again. Why help me? The Queen's eyes softened just a little. Because even in the vast universe, there are moments that define the character of a being. Yours has just begun. Alex didn't fully understand her words, but he felt a spark of determination. He had survived a crash, faced unknown beings, and now stood in the presence of a queen who judged not by fear, but by courage. As the sun, or whatever passed for sunlight on this planet, cast a greenish glow through the windows, Alex realized his life had changed forever. The aliens were no longer just creatures of legend. They were beings of strength, discipline, and surprising mercy. And for the first time since leaving Earth, Alex felt that he could not only survive here, he could thrive. The Queen rose gracefully, her robe flowing behind her. Rest, human. Tomorrow, you will see the world through our eyes, and perhaps you will show us yours. Alex watched her leave, understanding that this was only the beginning. The universe was far bigger and stranger than he had ever imagined, and somehow in the heart of an alien world, he had found an unexpected protector. The forest outside the palace glowed faintly in the distance, full of secrets, dangers, and wonders. Alex knew one thing for certain. His adventure was only starting, and if he could survive this first encounter, perhaps humans had a chance to shine in a galaxy far beyond their own. The morning light on the alien planet was soft and green, filtering through the crystalline towers like liquid glass. Alex stretched cautiously, his muscles stiff from yesterday's crash and the long night of recovery. The pain in his shoulder and leg had faded thanks to the Queen's healers, but he could still feel the reminders of the fall. He rose slowly and looked around the chamber. The palace was even more extraordinary in daylight. Walls seemed alive, pulsing faintly with energy that made the air feel warm and clean. Tiny motes of light floated in the corridors like fireflies. Alex had never seen technology that blended so seamlessly with nature. Every surface, every structure was beautiful yet functional. A soft sound approached, and Alex turned to see one of the Queen's guards standing silently. The guard nodded toward a set of doors at the far end of the chamber. "She wishes to speak with you," the guard said in a calm, precise tone. Alex swallowed. He had thought he might be kept under observation for days before meeting the Queen again. Now he realized that this was more than just mercy. It was an invitation. Gathering courage, he followed the guard through the corridors, trying not to stumble over his weak leg. The Queen waited in a large hall at the center of the palace. The floor glowed faintly under her feet, and tall windows opened to a view of the alien city, sparkling in shades of green and blue. Alex felt both awe and intimidation as he entered. "Sit," the Queen commanded gently. Alex lowered himself carefully onto a low bench. She did not sit. She remained standing tall and imposing, yet calm. "You have survived much in a short time, human," she said. Her voice was melodic, yet carried weight that made every word feel like it mattered. "Many would have given up after the crash. Many would have feared us. Yet you are here." Alex hesitated. I didn't think about surviving or failing. His voice faltered. "I just kept moving." The Queen's expression softened. "Courage is often not a choice, but an instinct. It is what defines a being when the world is harsh and unforgiving. You have instinct, human. That is why you are here." Alex could hardly believe it. He had always thought humans were ordinary, fragile creatures compared to the vast universe. Yet standing before her, He realized that courage and determination could matter even here, on this alien world. The Queen gestured to a holographic panel that appeared mid-air. It displayed maps of the planet, energy flows, and locations of alien settlements. You will not stay idle. You will learn our ways and share yours. Humanity's ingenuity can be of value, if you are willing to understand us as we try to understand you. Alex leaned forward, curious despite his exhaustion. Learn our ways? Why? Because understanding is the first test, she replied. Knowledge alone is not enough. Wisdom, courage, and empathy define strength. You will need all three. Over the next hours, Alex was guided through the palace by the Queen herself. He observed the aliens in their daily routines, training in skill and discipline, tending to technology, and interacting with the environment in ways that balanced strength and harmony. He noticed their weapons were advanced but never reckless. They carried energy blades and ranged devices, but only as tools, not toys. He saw aliens tending to gardens suspended in midair, cultivating plants that glowed softly and purified the air. There was order, grace, and intelligence in everything they did. The Queen paused near a balcony that overlooked the city. Your people are strong in courage, but often reckless. Our people are precise, but sometimes hesitant. There is value in both approaches. That is why you are here. Alex nodded slowly. I don't fully understand, but I want to learn. She studied him. We will see if your desire is true. Knowledge can be taught. Character cannot. After the tour, the Queen led Alex to a chamber filled with holographic displays. Here he was given the chance to try alien tools and technology. At first, he struggled. The devices responded to thought patterns and gestures he did not understand. But with patience, observation, and a willingness to fail, Alex began to adapt. One device measured reaction speed and strategy. The Queen's gaze followed him carefully as he learned its functions. Alex realized the test was not about his skill alone. It was about adaptability, curiosity, and perseverance. Hours passed and Alex felt both exhausted and exhilarated. The Queen nodded at him when he managed a complex sequence of gestures. Your mind is flexible, human. That is a rare quality. Then the Queen took him to another hall. This one contained simulations of threats, hostile creatures, environmental hazards, and complex scenarios requiring quick thinking. Alex had to navigate them using both his human intuition and his newly acquired alien knowledge. He fell several times, stumbled through traps, and made mistakes. But each time, he rose again. The Queen watched silently, noting every choice. When he finally completed the simulation, she nodded approvingly. You see, human, she said, courage alone is not enough. Strength alone is not enough. One must combine wisdom, adaptability, and moral insight to truly survive. You are learning quickly. Alex felt a rush of pride. Thank you. I think I'm starting to understand. The Queen's expression softened. Understanding is only the first step. You must act when called. In our world, action is the proof of character. Soon you will face choices that will test you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Alex's curiosity sparked. Choices? What kind of choices? The Queen's gaze turned toward the palace gates, as if she could see something approaching that Alex could not. The world is never as safe as it seems. Trust, loyalty, and courage will be tested, not tomorrow, but in ways you will soon face. Alex nodded, feeling a strange mix of excitement and anxiety. He had survived the crash, endured pain, and faced beings far beyond his understanding. Now he was being asked to grow, to adapt, and to show the qualities that made humans more than just survivors. As he rested later in the day, he thought about his home planet, the friends he had left behind, and the challenges ahead. But here, on this alien world, he realized that humanity's true strength was not just physical or technological. It was the ability to face the unknown, adapt and act with courage and integrity. The Queen visited him again as the evening approached. She brought no words this time, only a gesture toward the window, showing him the city bathed in alien light. Alex felt the enormity of what lay before him. The city was alive, not just with technology, but with purpose and discipline. The people here were strong, united, and thoughtful. Observe and learn, human, the Queen said softly. We have much to teach you, but you have much to show us as well. Alex watched the horizon, thinking about the possibilities. Could humans really measure up in a universe filled with beings of such power and intelligence? And yet he had survived. He had learned quickly. He had acted when necessary. And most importantly, he had shown the Queen that courage and character mattered, even to being so alien and formidable. As night fell, the palace lights glowed like stars. Alex lay back tired but determined. Tomorrow he would continue learning. Tomorrow he might face challenges that tested him beyond what he had seen today. But he knew one thing. He had earned a place in this world, even if only as a student, an observer, or a small part of something far greater. The Queen's presence lingered in his mind, a constant reminder that strength was not only measured in power but in wisdom, courage, and the choices one made when faced with the unknown. And as he drifted to sleep, Alex felt a quiet sense of purpose. He was no longer just a lost human on an alien planet. He was a participant in something extraordinary, a chance to prove that even in a universe of unimaginable beings, humanity had something unique and valuable to offer. The palace hummed softly around him, alive with energy, thought, and life. And somewhere deep in the glowing corridors, the Queen watched, silently gauging the human who had survived the crash, adapted to her world, and begun to earn the respect of her people. The morning sun filtered through the crystal towers of the alien city, casting green and blue reflections on the streets below. Alex had grown accustomed to the alien technology and customs, but a feeling of unease lingered. The Queen had warned him that understanding and knowledge were only the beginning. Action would prove character. He did not yet know what she meant, but he felt it coming. As he walked through the palace gardens, the same ones he had admired the day before, Alex noticed unusual activity among some of the guards. Their movements were sharp and secretive. Whispers passed quickly between them, and some glanced toward the Queen's chambers with tension in their posture. Alex frowned. Could there really be danger here after all the trust and peace he had experienced? His suspicion grew when a guard approached him silently. "Follow me," the alien whispered. Alex did not hesitate. Even with his injuries mostly healed, he moved carefully, his eyes scanning every shadow. They entered a smaller chamber away from the palace's main halls. The guard's eyes were serious. "Not all within the city are loyal," the guard said. "Some wish harm to the Queen and those she trusts. Your presence here may put you at risk." Alex's heart pounded. "Harm, you mean other guards?" The alien nodded. "Yes, they believe humans are untrustworthy. They will act if the opportunity comes." Alex swallowed hard. He had survived a crash and been rescued by aliens. But now he faced threats from within the very ranks that had once protected him. The thought was unnerving, but he forced himself to remain calm.
He had learned to adapt and act under pressure, lessons the Queen had taught him well. "Can I warn her?"
Alex asked. The guard shook his head. "She already knows. The test is yours. You must move carefully and think like we do. Survival depends on intelligence, courage, and subtlety." Alex nodded. He realized the Queen's lessons were more than philosophical. They were practical. The palace, which had seemed peaceful and orderly, was now a labyrinth of secrets and threats. Every corridor, every guard could be part of the challenge. He moved cautiously through the corridors, using the training and knowledge he had gained from the Queen and her people. He noted cameras and sensors, understanding how they worked. When he saw suspicious movement, he hid in shadows or blended with the passing guards. Hours passed as he navigated the palace silently. He overheard fragmented conversations of the rogue faction, plotting ways to destabilize the Queen's rule and remove the human they considered a threat. They were clever and dangerous, but Alex remembered the Queen's words. Courage alone is not enough. Strategy and intelligence mattered just as much. Alex found a vantage point overlooking one of the main halls. From here, he could see several guards moving in unusual patterns, clearly coordinating something. He observed quietly, analyzing their routes and anticipating their moves. He realized he could intercept them before they reached the Queen. Carefully, he used a small alien device he had learned to operate the day before. It emitted a low-frequency pulse that temporarily disabled security sensors in a narrow area. Moving swiftly, Alex slipped through the hallway unnoticed, placing himself in the path of the rogue guards. As they approached, he acted. Using hand signals and gestures, he misdirected them, leading them away from the Queen's chamber and into a controlled section of the palace. The guards stumbled into a series of non-lethal traps Alex had learned to operate. soft nets and energy barriers designed to restrain intruders without harm. Breathing heavily, Alex realized he had succeeded in protecting the Queen, at least for now. But the danger was far from over. The rogue faction was organized, intelligent, and relentless. He needed to warn loyal guards without exposing himself to direct confrontation. Finding a secure corridor, he accessed a communication device he had learned to use. Quietly, he relayed information about the rogue guards' movements and intentions to the loyal faction. Within moments, he saw the response. Guards repositioning, securing the Queen's chambers, and preparing to intercept the intruders. Alex felt a surge of pride. He had used human ingenuity, observation, and courage to navigate a dangerous situation in a completely alien environment. For the first time, he realized that humans had more to offer than mere survival skills. They had strategy, adaptability, and the ability to think differently, traits even the most disciplined aliens could respect. As the rogue guards attempted to advance again, they found their path blocked by loyal soldiers and Alex's clever traps. Confused and frustrated, the intruders were forced to retreat temporarily. The palace returned to relative calm, though Alex knew it was only temporary. The Queen entered the hall at that moment. Her presence was commanding, yet she radiated calm. She surveyed the scene and then looked at Alex. "You have done well," she said softly. "You acted with courage, yes, but more importantly with thought and care. You understand the balance between risk and prudence." Alex felt a wave of relief followed by humility. I only tried to protect you in the palace," he admitted. "I didn't know if it would work." The Queen's eyes softened just slightly. "That is precisely why your actions are commendable. True strength is not knowing the outcome but acting because it is right. You have earned the respect of those around you, human, and more importantly, you have proven that humans can be trusted allies." For the first time, Alex felt a sense of belonging on this alien world. He had faced danger, adapted to unfamiliar systems, and contributed in a meaningful way. It was a validation of everything the Queen had been teaching him. Later, as the city returned to normal, the Queen personally guided Alex through a debriefing. They analyzed the rogue faction's motives, strengths, and weaknesses. Alex contributed ideas based on human tactics, showing unconventional approaches that the aliens had not considered. "You think differently," the Queen observed. "Humans rely on ingenuity as much as strength. That is a gift, and one that can serve well in times of conflict." Alex nodded, humbled. He realized that in this alien society, trust had to be earned, and strength was measured not only by physical power but by wisdom, intelligence, and moral courage. As the day progressed, Alex was given time to rest, but he could not ignore the lessons of the morning. The rogue faction was a reminder that even in a world of apparent order, danger could emerge from within. Survival depended on vigilance, adaptability, and the willingness to act decisively when necessary. He walked through the palace gardens again, reflecting on his growth. He had arrived as a weak and injured human, unsure if he could survive a hostile environment. Now he moved with purpose, confidence, and understanding. The Queen appeared beside him without a sound. "You have learned quickly, human," she said. "But tests will grow more challenging. The next will not only measure your courage and intellect, but also your loyalty and your ability to inspire others." Alex looked at her, curiosity mixed with apprehension. "Inspire others? You mean the aliens?" She nodded. "Yes, leadership is not solely the domain of those born here. Action, integrity, and the ability to act wisely in the face of danger define those who lead. You will soon see if your qualities can influence others." Alex felt a mixture of pride and anxiety. He was just a human, far from home, but he had already faced challenges that would have overwhelmed many. The idea that he could influence alien allies was both thrilling and daunting. As the sun set over the glowing city, Alex reflected on the events of the day. He had navigated a dangerous palace, protected the Queen from an internal threat, and demonstrated human ingenuity. But he knew that the universe was vast, and that danger would not wait. The rogue faction was only one challenge. There were bound to be greater threats, ones that would test every lesson the Queen had taught him. Yet for the first time, Alex felt confident. He had learned that human courage, intelligence, and moral strength could earn respect even from beings far more powerful and advanced. He had survived, adapted, and contributed meaningfully, and he knew deep down that he was ready for whatever came next. As night fell, the palace hummed quietly with energy. Alex lay down in his quarters, tired but alert. He had learned a valuable lesson. Survival was only part of the journey. Understanding, action, and integrity defined the true measure of strength. And in a universe full of unknowns, humans had something unique to offer, something even the most disciplined aliens could not ignore. And somewhere, watching silently, the Queen knew that this human was proving himself not just as a survivor, but as an ally and a potential partner in the challenges to come. The palace was alive with tension. Alex could feel it in the air, the faint hum of energy, the whispers of guards moving quickly through the corridors, and the distant rumble of the city outside. The rogue faction had not vanished. Instead, they were organizing, preparing for an attack that could threaten the Queen and the entire city. Alex's heart pounded. This was the moment he had been preparing for, even if he had not realized it. The lessons of courage, strategy, and adaptability were about to be tested in the most intense way. The Queen appeared in the command hall, her presence commanding attention even among the busy guards. "The rebels are approaching," she said, her voice calm but firm. "We cannot allow them to reach the palace chambers. Alex, you will assist the loyal guards. Your insight and ingenuity will be crucial." Alex nodded, his mind racing. He had learned the layout of the palace, the security systems, and the behavior of the rogue faction. Now he had to act, not just observe. He moved through the palace alongside a squad of loyal guards, each one taller and stronger than a human, but disciplined and precise. Alex felt a mix of awe and determination. Humans were weaker physically, but his mind, his strategies, and his quick thinking could make a difference. The first wave of rogue guards appeared at a distant corridor, their energy weapons glowing ominously. Alex signaled to the loyal guards to hold position and wait. He observed the intruders carefully, noting their patterns and weaknesses. "Use the side passages," Alex whispered. "They'll expect a direct confrontation, but we can flank them." The guards followed his plan, moving silently along narrow hallways and emerging behind the rogue faction. Alex triggered a few low-energy barriers and nets he had learned to operate, cutting off potential escape routes for the intruders. The first skirmish began. Energy weapons hummed and flickered, but the battle was controlled. Alex stayed behind the front lines, directing guards and activating strategic devices that delayed the attackers without causing permanent harm. Every move required precision and quick thinking, and Alex felt the thrill of human ingenuity in action. As the rogue faction realized they were being outmaneuvered, their aggression intensified. Alex spotted one of their leaders attempting to rush toward the Queen's chambers. He shouted to a nearby guard, "Block that hallway, now!" The guard moved swiftly, cutting off the path and forcing the intruder to retreat. Alex activated a temporary energy barrier, giving the Queen time to relocate to a safer area of the palace. She appeared suddenly, her movements graceful and powerful, taking control of the situation with calm authority. She deflected attacks with skillful gestures, commanding her loyal guards with gestures that were precise and commanding. Alex realized that the Queen's strength was not just in physical power, but in her ability to inspire confidence and coordinate strategy in real time. Alex found himself in a small corridor, facing two intruders directly. He did not hesitate. Using a combination of quick reflexes and careful timing, he dodged their attacks and led them into a trap, a room where soft energy nets and barriers restrained them safely. The aliens watching him exchanged glances of respect. "You are learning quickly," one guard said quietly. Alex nodded, feeling pride, but he knew the battle was far from over. The rogue faction had regrouped and was attempting another approach from a different entrance. Alex anticipated their strategy, directing loyal guards to intercept while he set up barriers and traps along potential paths. He moved with confidence, realizing that humans could contribute in ways the aliens might not expect. His strategies were unconventional but effective. Finally, the rebels reached the main chamber where the Queen was stationed. Alex and the loyal guards formed a protective perimeter. The Queen moved to the center, her presence radiating authority. She raised her hand, and energy flows from the palace walls responded, forming protective shields. Alex felt a surge of determination. He stepped forward, guiding a squad of guards to reinforce weak points in the defense. His actions were calculated and precise, showing that humans could fight not only with courage but with intelligence and adaptability. The rogue faction launched their final attempt, a coordinated push to breach the Queen's protective area. Alex anticipated every movement, signaling guards to block passages, activating barriers, and using the palace layout to their advantage. Slowly, the intruders were pushed back. In the midst of the chaos, one rogue guard managed to break through a side passage, heading directly toward the Queen. Alex saw him too late to block the path physically, but he remembered a strategy from the simulations the Queen had shown him. He activated a device that created a temporary energy field, slowing the intruder and giving a loyal guard the chance to intercept safely. The Queen glanced at Alex, a hint of approval in her eyes. He realized that this moment, this act of quick thinking and bravery had earned her trust. With coordinated effort, the loyal guards pushed the rebels back to a controlled section of the palace. The intruders were restrained safely using non-lethal methods. Alex stood breathing heavily but feeling exhilarated. He had contributed in a meaningful way, protecting the Queen and the palace with both strategy and courage. The Queen approached him, her gaze steady. "You have proven yourself human, not only with courage but with intelligence and quick thinking. You have acted decisively when it mattered most." Alex felt a mixture of relief and pride. I just tried to do what was right," he said quietly. She nodded. "And that is what defines strength. Action guided by wisdom and moral courage is far greater than mere physical power. You have shown that humans have a place even among the most advanced civilizations." The palace slowly returned to calm. Loyal guards secured the intruders and reinforced defenses. Alex helped coordinate the cleanup, ensuring that no weaknesses remained. The city outside, glowing softly under the alien sky, seemed peaceful again. But Alex knew that vigilance would always be necessary. Later, as the Queen and Alex walked through the quiet palace gardens, she spoke softly. "Today you have done more than survive. You have demonstrated the qualities that we respect: courage, ingenuity, and integrity. You have also shown loyalty to those who trust you. These are rare traits," Alex nodded, humbled. "I learned from watching you and your people. I only tried to use what I had learned." The Queen smiled faintly, a gesture almost imperceptible but full of meaning. "And that is why you are here. You are more than a visitor, Alex. You are a participant in our world. Your actions have proven that humans can be allies, thinkers, and even protectors when the need arises." As night fell, Alex reflected on the events of the day. He had faced danger, protected the Queen, and contributed in ways he had never imagined possible. Humans, despite their physical limitations, could match even the most advanced beings through intelligence, strategy, and moral courage. He realized that the universe was full of challenges, but it was also full of opportunities for those willing to act wisely and bravely. The Queen had given him more than protection. She had given him a chance to prove the value of humanity itself. In his quarters that night, Alex carefully reviewed the events, noting every decision, every tactic, and every moment of courage. He knew that this was not the end. More challenges would come and more tests would demand his best. But he also knew that humans could rise to meet them, not with brute force but with wisdom, courage, and the ability to think beyond fear. Somewhere in the palace, the Queen watched silently. Alex had proven himself in battle, yes, but she also saw the growth of his mind, his understanding, and his character. He was no longer just a human far from home. He was a trusted ally and a living example of what humanity could offer to the galaxy. And in the quiet after the battle, Alex finally allowed himself a moment of rest. He had survived, he had acted, and he had proven himself. Tomorrow he would continue to learn, to grow, and to prepare for the challenges that lay beyond the palace walls, in a universe full of unknowns, but also full of possibilities. The morning sun bathed the alien city in a soft greenish light. The palace, once tense with the threat of rebellion, now stood calm and secure. Alex walked through the corridors alongside the Queen, feeling a mix of pride and awe. He had survived the crash, earned the respect of the Queen and her guards, and faced danger alongside aliens far stronger and more disciplined than himself. Today, the palace would recognize more than just his courage. It would honor the value of humanity. The Queen led Alex to the main chamber, a vast space with glowing walls and a ceiling that seemed to stretch infinitely. The loyal guards assembled in perfect formation, their weapons resting but their posture formal. Citizens of the city, aliens of every shape and size, watched quietly from the sides. Alex felt a sense of anticipation. This was unlike anything he had experienced on Earth. There were no ceremonies like this among humans, at least not so grand or so meaningful. This recognition was not just about him, it was about what humans could represent in a universe full of unknowns. The Queen stepped forward, her presence commanding absolute attention. "Today," she began, her voice echoing calmly through the chamber, "we acknowledge the courage, ingenuity, and moral strength of a visitor from another world. One who has proven that even among the stars humanity can stand as an ally, protector, and friend." All eyes turned toward Alex. He stood quietly, unsure what to say. He had not come to this planet seeking recognition. He had only wanted to survive. Yet here, standing in front of the most powerful being he had ever met, he realized that humans, his people, had a place in this galaxy, not as conquerors but as equals in courage, intelligence, and moral strength. The Queen continued, "You have faced challenges, navigated danger, and protected those who trusted you. Your actions have earned not only my respect but also the respect of our people." Alex's chest swelled with a mixture of pride and humility. "I thank you," he said simply. "I only tried to do what was right." "And that is why you are worthy," the Queen replied. "True worth is shown in actions guided by thought and conscience. You have demonstrated this, human. You have shown that humans can rise to meet challenges, even among beings far more advanced." The guard stepped forward, offering gestures of respect that Alex had come to recognize as their highest honor. Even those who had once been suspicious of him now nodded in acknowledgement. Alex felt a warmth he had never known. Humans in this moment had earned a place among these extraordinary beings. After the ceremony, the Queen led Alex to a balcony overlooking the city. The alien sun reflected off crystal towers, bathing everything in a soft, magical glow. He felt a sense of wonder and possibility. "You have learned much," the Queen said, standing beside him, "but there's still more to discover. You can return to your world, taking the lessons you have learned here, or you can remain, continuing to grow alongside us." Alex considered her words carefully. Returning to Earth would be safe. He could share what he had learned, perhaps help his people understand the broader universe. But staying offered something more, a chance to learn, to participate, and to prove that humans could be true partners in interstellar society. I want to stay," Alex said finally. "I want to learn more, to help, and to show what humanity can offer." The Queen's eyes softened with approval. "Then you shall. Your journey has only begun, human. There is much work ahead, and many challenges that will test every lesson you have learned. But I trust in your courage, your intelligence, and your integrity. You are ready." Over the following days, Alex began to integrate more fully into alien society. He trained alongside the guards, learning new techniques and strategies that combined alien discipline with human ingenuity. He studied their technology, understanding systems that were far beyond Earth's capabilities, yet he approached each lesson with curiosity and determination. He also shared human ideas, simple, clever solutions that the aliens had not considered. Sometimes these ideas seemed small, but they proved surprisingly effective. Alex realized that humans, even in a world of more advanced beings, could contribute in meaningful ways. Courage and ingenuity were universal languages, and humans spoke them fluently. The palace, once a place of danger and uncertainty, became a home of growth, learning, and mutual respect. Alex formed friendships with alien guards, healers, and citizens. They were curious about his world, just as he was about theirs. Together they exchanged knowledge, ideas, and strategies. The lessons were mutual. Humans could teach aliens about creativity and adaptability, while aliens could teach humans about discipline, coordination, and long-term planning. One evening, as Alex and the Queen walked along a high balcony overlooking the glowing city, she spoke softly. "You have proven that courage and intelligence are not confined to a single species. You have shown that humans can stand as equals, partners in thought and action. This is the foundation of a new alliance." Alex looked out at the city, the energy flowing through the streets, the citizens moving with purpose and grace. "I never imagined That humans could be accepted here, he admitted. You are not just accepted, the Queen replied. You are respected. Your people have potential beyond what you know. Courage, moral strength, and ingenuity are qualities that can influence worlds. You have shown them in action. Alex felt a deep sense of responsibility. Humanity had a place in this universe, but it was not guaranteed. They would have to continue proving themselves through actions, not words. But he was ready. He had learned that fear could be met with courage, danger with thought, and uncertainty with determination. In the following weeks, Alex participated in missions alongside alien teams. They explored new regions of the planet, discovered hidden resources, and resolved conflicts with diplomacy and clever strategy. Humans and aliens worked together seamlessly, each learning from the other. Alex realized that this cooperation was what the Queen had envisioned, a true partnership across worlds. One day, the Queen called Alex to her chambers. There is something you must understand, she said. Humanity's journey is just beginning. Your presence here is more than symbolic. It is proof that trust, courage, and wisdom can cross the boundaries of worlds. We will continue to face challenges, but together, humans and aliens can create something greater than either alone. Alex nodded solemnly. He had faced danger, earned respect, and contributed in ways he had never imagined. And now, he was part of a story larger than himself, a story of alliance, understanding, and mutual growth. As he left the chamber, he saw the city bustling below. Children played in the gardens, citizens moved with purpose, and guards patrolled with disciplined focus. Everything was orderly yet full of life. It struck Alex that strength was not just physical or technological. It was harmony, intelligence, and cooperation. He found himself thinking of Earth, of the people he had left behind. Perhaps one day humans could join this galaxy of advanced civilizations, not as conquerors but as partners. Perhaps the lessons he had learned here could prepare his people to face the universe with courage, wisdom, and moral strength. That evening, Alex stood once more on the balcony with the Queen. The stars above were unfamiliar yet full of promise. Thank you, he said quietly, for trusting me, for teaching me, and for showing me that humans can be more than they ever imagined. The Queen smiled, faint but meaningful. You have earned that trust, human, not by words but by actions, and actions, when guided by courage, wisdom, and integrity, define the future, yours and perhaps humanity's as well. As night settled over the alien city, Alex felt a sense of peace and determination. He was far from home, yet he had found purpose, respect, and a chance to prove humanity's worth in a universe full of unknowns. He knew challenges would continue, but he also knew that humans, when guided by courage, moral strength, and ingenuity, could rise to meet any challenge. And for the first time, Alex looked at the alien sky not as a stranger, but as a participant in a grand story of unity, courage, and hope, a story that he and his people could continue to write among the stars.